All right, hello everyone. I'm here with the Czech superstar Martin Jza. It's kind of weird that we actually have to speak in English. We're both from Czech, so we share the same language. But for purposes of this video, we're gonna talk in English. How's it going, Martin?
Hey, it's going all right. Maybe we can talk in Czech and then just have English subtitles or something.
Yeah, I can do that, but that would be like very annoying for me to do. So I think it's better this way.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so for a little bit of introduction, I think most people watching this video probably know who Martin is, but maybe someone doesn't. So Martin has I think most GP top 8s, and I also think most GPs attended overall. Maybe Shuhei is the first, I don't know for sure. But anyway, Martin plays a lot of GPs. He also has, I think now 5 Pro Tour top 8s, is that right? Or 4? You made a third one and then you made a team one, right?
Yeah, I think the last one was the team one.
So you have 4?
Minneapolis. Yeah. It sucks that the Pro Tour is dead. Like, the Pro Tour was always everything that we loved about it. Like, having split formats, playing constructed and limited, having to prepare for 2 different things. Like, I really miss the old days of the actual Pro Tour. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm glad that we can still play tournaments online. That's great. But I think it's a little bit different to play, with 100 or 200 people in just one format. There's no limited. That's what sucks kind of the most. Like, there's no limited right now in high level play, and that was always what I loved the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also kind of hard to keep track of the best results and stuff, because now they show the top finishes, but maybe someone had 3 Pro Tour top 8s and then they made 2 finals of the arena tournament. It's kind of hard to know now what it means exactly. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, the fact that they keep changing the names of every tournament for the last couple of years, everything has a new name every 3 months. It really makes it hard to follow and just hard to keep track of what's going on or what are you even qualified for. Sometimes I have the schedule and I see that there's a tournament coming up and I have no clue what kind of tournament it is. It could just be a pre-release, or it could be something something along the lines of a Pro Tour, and I just generally have no idea what's coming because it has a new name, and I just have no clue what it actually means.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone in the world who knows exactly what is going on, but that's the world we live in. Yeah. So where do I want to start? I think we should start with what's the most interesting thing about you. Well, I guess I should also say this. I think a lot of people ask why Czech Republic. It's a very small country. We have only 10 million people, have so many good players. And I think that Martin is a big part of that. When I was growing up as a pro, maybe Andre as well, we had this role model of Martin who just traveled to all the GPs, was just crushing everything. And then, having that kind of a role model that you can also talk to, because Czech Republic is small and we know each other, really helped. It was something to aspire for and something like that. How did it all happen? When did you decide that you're just gonna travel to all the GPs and stuff? What did you just like to do it, or I don't know what was going on there?
Yeah, back in the days, the idea of or the way they marketed Magic was play the game, see the world, which was hey, try to qualify for a Pro Tour. It's really cool. You can win a ticket to Hawaii, and play with the big boys or whatever. And I thought that was really cool. That when I played something like poker when I was younger, it's just infinite sitting in front of your screen. You don't really get to go outside too much. There's all these mood swings that come with the swings, and Magic was a way to travel. And I thought it was really cool. If you tell somebody hey, I won a tournament in chess, or hey, I won a tournament in Magic, I won whatever, everybody's gonna be okay, sure. If you tell somebody, hey, I just won a qualifier for a tournament in Hawaii and they're going to fly me there, they're going to pay me a flight ticket, then everybody goes, oh, wow, that's really cool. How can I do that? How can I play as well? Where do I get a deck? And I thought it was really cool. And that's what it kind of made, what made it fun for me. And I started playing 2002 or something. The first couple of years, I only played 1 Pro Tour a year that I would randomly qualify for from a PTQ. And then at some point I just started doing well. I made a PT top 8. I made another PT top 16, the one after or something. And like all of a sudden in one season I was the second highest level, and the second highest level paid pretty good appearance fee if you just attended a GP. So basically I got my travel paid for. So why wouldn't I play every Grand Prix, right? It was the best thing ever. I was super young. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. And as somebody who lives in the Czech Republic, like we don't get, that much opportunity to go, see the beach or to go, see some of these really cool places. So I was glad that I could do it. And that's basically what I did for the next 10 years. I was always at the highest level of the organized play, which came with the appearance fees. So going to Grand Prix was basically free, and yeah, why not do it? If you could travel, if you could literally travel the world for free, plus on top of that, if you do well, you're gonna get some prizes from the tournaments. You're gonna get some points on top of that to make sure you have the highest level for the next year as well. And yeah, I just thought, I could. That's basically living the dream. I get to travel the world, and the best part was like always seeing my friends at the tournaments. At the end on Sunday, we would just be like, "Hey, you're going to Sydney next week? Oh no, I'm going to be in Toronto. Oh yeah, sure. Let's see you in Canada next week then." And then you go home for 3 days, and you just fly to a completely different continent again. And yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I kind of missed that part too. Like it's traveling was always what made Magic fun for me, and at Grand Prix you see your friends, you play the main event, you can play some cool side events, you can have fun. Plus, every place has a lot of awesome stuff to do. Like if you go to Vegas, you can go to some of the cool shows. You can watch Cirque du Soleil, some of the music shows. Maybe there's great food. You get to take a little trip to the Grand Canyon. So there's always something to do. And like the Asian GPs, you can go to like a little vacation in Thailand or Singapore or whatever. So yeah, basically that's what I did for a really long time, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought the whole idea behind it, play the game, see the world, was a great way to market Magic. And yeah, that was my reasoning. Or yeah.
So it wasn't like at the beginning you were like, oh, this, like I want to be a pro, this is what I want to do for 10 years. It was more like, well, now I'm queued for these tournaments, it's like basically free for me, so like I basically kind of have to go, and then it just went on and on. Is that accurate? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I also like, I like playing Magic too. I think Magic is a great game, and I really enjoy doing that. So it was just like combining all of the good things together. Like, yeah, I'm playing Magic, I like the game, I'm doing well in it, I can play the big league, and I can also see the world while I do that. So it was just combining all of the good things together, and it was fun, and I enjoyed the competition as well. Like I'm a competitive person, so yeah, it was basically playing tournaments while getting to see the world, and I thought both of that was really cool.
You already mentioned the fact that you kind of made your first PT Top 8 kind of early, then you also made a second one, and you were crushing GPs and stuff, and that was like at the beginning of your career, so everyone just like assumed that you're gonna make it into the Hall of Fame like basically immediately. But then as the years went by, you kind of were missing the third Top 8. Like for most people you need 4, but everyone pretty much knew that if you make the third one, you're gonna make it in based on your like other results, but you just couldn't. It took you a while till you got there. Was that like a big deal for you? Did you really care about the Hall of Fame, or like can you just like talk about that?
I never really cared about the results too much. Like for me, like sure you can make a PT Top 8, but like you're gonna get a little bit more money than if you finished 17th or whatever. But for me, it was mostly about like the traveling and like what I can take from it for the rest of my life. So I never really like, sure, I'm a competitive person, I wanted to win, but I don't think I maybe worked as hard as other people, and the reason for that was that because I played so many tournaments, it was very easy to get points by traveling and playing all the GPs. I basically had enough points for the highest level just by playing the GPs. Even if I went 0-3 in every Pro Tour, I would still have enough points. And maybe that was the reason why I just wasn't motivated enough, because I already knew that I had the level locked up for next year. So I was thinking, yeah, I mean, sure, I do want to win, but maybe that kind of contributed to me being a little bit lazy and just not doing my best to prepare, 100%, because I already had everything locked up. So, and at that point, there's nothing more to achieve, right? If you're already qualified for Platinum, if you're already qualified for the World Championship, if you're already qualified for everything next year, then there's nothing else you can really get. So for me, the fun part at that point was okay, I'll go to Sydney, and then I can fly to Fiji, and then I can do this. So I was doing a lot of cool stuff and just kind of hanging out and enjoying life, rather than, being more like working more towards just actually winning the tournaments, which, I do regret it a little bit. It would have been nice to have, slightly better results in some of the tournaments. But then again, like, you can also look at it from the side of like, well, I guess if you really haven't been practicing that much and you still got 4 PT top 8s and like 30 something other top 8s, then that's pretty good, right? Like
that's pretty good, I think. Yeah.
that's maybe even better. So yeah, on one hand, I maybe regret it a little bit, but on the other hand, it was a great feeling that I already had everything locked up and that I didn't really have to sweat every tournament. Like,
I'm just sorry to interrupt. Like, for the viewers who don't know, I just wanted to point it out. Back in the day, you got all the points from the GPs. Like, now we have like the system of like, only like 6 GPs count or whatever. But back in the day, no matter how many GPs you played, you got all the points, and that's why what Martin says makes sense. Just wanted to clear that out. Go ahead.
You still needed to have good results. It's not like you go to 10 GPs, you're like locked up for everything.
Yeah.
You still needed to, if you went to 15 GPs, you need to top 8 4. And then, top 16, so 5 more or something to really for the results to really contribute to everything. But yeah, back in the days, there were years where you could basically just grind GPs and you would get most of your points from that. But obviously, it's not like I went to Pro Tours and just never did well. Like, my median finish is pretty decent, and I have a bunch of top 16s as well. I know I finished 9th on tiebreakers once, like 10th and 11th. So I have some top 16s that could have been top 8s, and I'm pretty sure that I could have finished a lot higher a lot of the times when I just messed up a bunch of times at some really tough spots. So yeah, I mean, that just comes with maybe not practicing enough. That's why they say that practice makes perfect, and that's why. Some of the absolute best players are the people who play Magic, 12 hours a day, and that's how you make sure you never make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I want to ask about is Channel Fireball. I don't actually know for how many years you're connected to them, but basically anyone who thinks of Martin Jza, they immediately thinks of Channel Fireball, right? Like, you're like one of their. I think even if you go to the page, a lot of the times people can see your face and stuff like that. How did that relationship happen? Was it because you joined the testing team, or what happened there?
Yeah, it was that. Like, it was 2009, I think. We started testing together with the Americans, and Luis was on the team, Paulo was on the team, some other people that were related to Channel Fireball, and at that time they were already starting the website. And they were asking, like, hey, do you want to write articles? You have a lot of stuff to say because you play a lot of Magic. You play a lot of tournaments. People want to see deck lists. They want to see sideboard guides. They want to see what's up. They want to know what to play in the next tournament. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Thanks to the life that I live, like, I'm not going to be that great with deadlines maybe. But if you let me write, not like, once every week on Tuesday at 12 p.m., but more like, hey, I feel like I have something to say. I'm going to write something because I know I'm going to be able to create a really good article, rather than just like, oh yeah, I have to write something. I'm just going to say, kind of whatever. They were like, yeah, sure. We just want something good. And if you can produce good articles, if people like it, then we're going to be glad. It's going to be it's going to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's how I started. I wasn't really writing on schedule, but yeah, every time I felt like I had something to say, I was writing some articles, and now I am actually on a schedule. Now I do write a lot of deck guides. We make a lot of videos. CFB Pro is a really cool thing. Just having access to the deck vault and having all these deck guides from it's basically all Hall of Famers too. Like, Luis is in the Hall of Fame, Huey is in the Hall of Fame, Nassif is in the Hall of Fame, Reed is in the Hall of Fame, and Andrea's pretty much on the way to Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So,
but there is no Hall of Fame anymore, right? Like, they're not inducting new people.
this year they skipped the induction because of Corona.
Oh, I see.
But it's not like they canceled it or anything.
Oh, I
I think
see.
they were talking about possibly adding maybe the commentators or you know some kind of change that would maybe make the Hall of Fame a little bit bigger. But I'm not really sure if you know what they're actually going to do. But all I know is that this season they skipped the voting because we couldn't really have the induction and ceremony anyways. So yeah, this season there was nobody added, but I think the Hall of Fame is still a thing. Like it's
Okay.
still
Yeah, maybe I just
still on.
misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah, so now for CFB, I write articles, write all the deck guides. You know, we make videos, and I think it's awesome when you get to just share the knowledge with other people that play Magic, and especially if they find your articles helpful, and if people maybe come to your stream and they say like, hey, really enjoyed this article about this topic, or I really like this deck guide, or when they just come to your stream and just ask questions, you know, and they're like, hey, I would like to, you know, see your point on this, or hey, can you maybe help me choose a deck for the next tournament? And just I generally really enjoy being a part of the community and interacting with people and talking about Magic and talking strategy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the streaming as well. You like a couple of years back you started streaming. You also talked about making videos, articles and stuff. Do you still see yourself more as a pro who does like this content on the side, or is that something you would like to go into more, maybe even like do more commentary and stuff like that? What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing commentary. That's one thing that I would like to say. I'm glad that you know WotC invites me every now and then to some of the tournaments where, for example, the season grand finals. It was a tournament which you had to qualify for by being in top 16 of one of the Mythic Invitationals. So I wasn't playing in it, and thanks to that, I could have been doing commentary, and I was very happy that WotC invited me to do it, and that they found my commentary to be insightful and good. So yeah, I enjoy doing that. As far as streaming, I would like to do it more. I would like to do it more, but if you stream, I think you have to do it kind of like really all in, or just do it for fun.
Yeah,
And
there is no middle ground.
yeah, if you want if you want streaming to be your job, you can absolutely. You just need to be consistent. The consistency is probably the biggest key in streaming, and you just have to stream, you know, 8 hours a day, and then you have a lot of followers, you have a lot of fans, people come to your stream, you have a lot of subscribers, and all that is really cool. But the problem is, like, you really have to be consistent. You can't really just take, you know, a 2-week long break and just you know do some traveling and hang out with your friends, and you just have to kind of dedicate all of your time to streaming. But you know, right now there isn't really a whole lot to do anyway. So I was really considering just maybe going back to streaming and maybe just trying to have a big Magic stream again. Because when I started, I had a pretty big stream. I had about 1,000 people on average, which I thought was really cool. I tried to be very helpful when I stream. I try to, you know, interact with the chat. I've always had very positive interaction with all the people who came to my stream. And yeah, I just always try to make it about learning and you know, brewing new decks and kind of breaking the formats. And yeah, I think I would like to go back to that. I was just strongly considering doing that. Right now, I'm pretty much just waiting for the new format. And a big part of why I wasn't streaming much in the last, you know, couple of months or maybe the last year was that the constructed formats just weren't enjoyable. I really enjoy when a new set comes out.
Well, you can still play Modo, right? It's like something that you don't want to do.
Arena is just so much more convenient, so much faster. Yeah, like I really enjoy when a new set comes out, new decks, you know, you keep changing cards, you keep changing decks. Every day you discover something new, you can write about it, you know, people get excited when they see a new deck that's doing well. But the last year or two just felt like, you know, every time you wanted to play constructed, you had to play 7 reclamation mirrors in a row, and every game was exactly the same. And then you played, you know, Fire's mirrors, and then you played whatever, and Teferi was annoying to play. It was just the same over and over and over, and I kind of just didn't really enjoy that. And I also just don't want to do something that.
But you can also stream limited, right?
You can, and there are
not many people watch it.
There are people who their brand is drafting, but I think it has to be all you do. If you want to stream limited, it has to be your brand. It has to be what you do. So people like Caleb, people like Ben Stark, people like Kenji, people like Voxy, they just draft. But if you wanna do both, constructed and draft and cube and just do things for fun, you have to be LSV or somebody that has the large following and just everybody loves you for being the absolute best player and being really funny and having really good insights. And I think Lewis is one of the very few people who can pull it off. Or people like Brian Kibler maybe. But if I went back to streaming, I would just be doing constructed. I also just find it more fun these days, even though I used to dislike constructed. I do find it fun these days.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about it. Like, you're considered to be like maybe one of the best limited players of all time. But you weren't really like, obviously you're a good player, so you're winning at constructed as well. But I think you would say yourself as well, you're better at limited. Maybe not now, but it definitely used to be the case before. Why do you think that was the case? Was it just something that you played more, or do you just think that you're like maybe more talented for limited? Like, can you just talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, probably both. I think the biggest reason was that limited felt like fun. Every draft is different. Every deck is different. Your opponent's deck are always different, and I thought that was fun. I thought I was good at the little things that matter in limited. Like in limited, when you draft, there's so many like small details that matter. Like you open a pack and you have to take into consideration, what you're gonna take, what the person behind you is most likely to take. If there is something that's very likely going to wheel, what are the maybe the most drafted colors in the format? Is something underdrafted? If something is a card that you can build your deck around, then you pass the pack, you get another pack pass from your opponent, and you have to focus on, okay, what did the player take a rare? Did they take an uncommon? Did they take a common? What is the card that's missing most likely going to be? And you're like trying to piece together this really big puzzle. And I really enjoyed that. I thought I was good at it too. And yeah, as I said, if I'm doing something that I enjoy, I tend to do it a lot, and I tend to do it more, and I tend to try to get even better at it. And maybe back in the days, constructed just felt more like a core for me. It just felt like work. In constructed, you just have to grind games to figure out exactly the right configuration of everything. And it can be repetitive. Like it can just be, you're just playing the same games over and over. And for that reason, I just always preferred limited. And yeah, that's probably also why I was better at it, because I just prefer to draft more rather than just grind the constructed games.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I've asked everything I wanted to ask. If there's still something that you want to say, of course you can, but...
you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. It's always, twitter.com/my name. Twitch, the same thing. You can find me on Channel Fireball, all the cool articles, all the deck guides. If you have any tips, any suggestions on kind of topics you would like to see discussed in an article, you can always tag any of us on Twitter, for example. And yeah, I think Magic is a great game. It's kind of remarkable that it's been going for 27 or 28 years, and even though the last year or two some of the cards have been maybe a little too busted, I still want to give credit to all the Magic designers and playtesters, because they have been doing a remarkable job keeping the game absolutely insane for 28 years, and it's the best game ever created. It's fun, and even though the rules are the same, like we keep doing the same over and over, it's still fun. They kind of hit the sweet spot of releasing a new set every 3 months or something, and things change exactly at the right pace, and I think that's awesome. I'm really glad that I'm playing Magic, that I'm a part of the Magic community, and hopefully we're gonna get to keep playing for longer and longer, and also hopefully we're gonna go back to having real life tournaments, because I would like to go again to Magic Feds, and we were traveling together. I remember all the times we were in a car together driving to a GP, for 8 hours, having fun in the car. I thought that was great, and hopefully we're gonna go back to that.
Right. Thank you, Martin, for your time. If anyone liked the video, if you guys like the video, please click on the like and subscribe button, and bye bye.
All right, guys, thanks and take care.